Hey everyone, Leanne here from Kingdom Blogger. So today I'm going to talk about how do I build my email list if I really don't have a lot of traffic coming to my actual website. Now, if you follow me for any amount of time, you know that I am very adamant about not starting your email list right away. Now, a lot has changed over the last 2 years because Google's kind of wiped out our organic traffic opportunities, but so that you're going to have to kind of start laying foundations in other places. So I would wait until maybe at least a year into it and you actually know what you're doing with your blog before you start trying to build the email list. Here's why. And I'm going to keep this short because I do have another video about this. But things, again, have changed a little bit because SEO is kind of dead. But if you start your email list from day one, and I know this is contrary to what most every other blogger teaches, but think about it. If you're just starting your blog, do you really know what you're even doing? Do you even know who your target audience is, what they want? You're really spending all your time in that first year learning how this blogging stuff works. When you have an email list, it takes work. It's a relationship. And we know that relationships take a lot of work and a lot of effort. And you can't just wing it every Monday morning as to what you're going to email them, right? You need a solid plan for what you are going to do with this list. And it needs to be very tied to the overall purpose of your ministry. And so, for this reason alone, I recommend waiting, a while until you've got a handle on your who, your what, and all the things in between with your blog. Not to mention, once you actually do get an email list and they are engaged, many of them will reply back to your emails. And that takes a little bit of time for you to respond to their emails. Because I mean, it's kind of just rude not to reply to them if they took the time to reply to you, right? And so if you're already overwhelmed with not having enough time, I can tell you from personal experience, it will eventually take a good hour, sometimes of your day, just to respond to the email replies that you get. So moving on. So today we're going to talk about if I'm not, so let's say you're ready, you've got a great handle on it, but Google still is just like not being a good friend of yours. Your email list, like building your email list in these ways we're going to talk about today, can actually help to start getting you more traffic. All right. So first, let's talk about the lead magnet. Now, what you do not want to do is go into a Facebook group and say, hey, what's everybody using for a lead magnet that works for you? That is wrong. What you need to do is really focus on your target audience, who you are intending, like hoping to reach, and for what purpose, and figure out what the pain point is that you can serve them with through a lead magnet. Not like what works for me might not work for you. Even though we may have similar audiences, you really need to do your research. And I will tell you, ChatGPT is a really great tool to help you come up with these ideas. You can feed it like, this is my target audience, this is who I'm trying to reach, and for what purpose, what I'm trying to offer them, what are their pain points? And then from that, ask it like, what would be some good lead magnets to help in getting people to subscribe to my blog? Like, that's where the research comes in. And we're going to talk about two types of ways to get subscribers through these methods we're going to talk about. So we're going to have some things about things about things, okay? So number one, of course, you have a subscribe form on your blog, right? And even though you might not have a lot of traffic yet coming to your blog, what little traffic you do have, that subscribe form could be very great and get people to subscribe. But here's the thing. You got to make it worth their while. Don't just say subscribe and get new blog posts to your inbox. Ain't nobody got time for that. People are already bombarded with so much spam in their email. You want to offer them something they really need as it applies to the overall purpose of your ministry, right? Don't just create random things that are awesome, but really don't tie into the overall purpose, because people will just take the cool thing and go. For example, scripture coloring pages. Everybody loves them, but do they tie into what you're going to be sending every week in your email? Because what will happen, you can have a really great freebie. They'll sign up to get it, but then they'll unsubscribe right away, or they'll just never open your emails. And this is where having a solid plan for your email strategy is important. What you create not only needs to serve the pain point that you're trying to offer, but it also needs to be tied to what those weekly emails are going to be about. For example, my ministry is to help new believers better understand scripture. So I create short Bible studies that are like in kindergarten format, things like that. So my opt-in is like Bible reading plans, but and there's lessons with it. And then every month they get a new plan and short free study lessons and so forth. It's all tied together. If they signed up for a Bible reading plan, but your weekly emails are about how to be a good Christian mom and teach your kids stuff, the two don't really tie together. Now, if your reading plan was really tied to mom issues, maybe. So this is a discussion to go more in depth in another video, but I just want to make it clear that what you are creating in hopes to bring in a subscriber needs to serve a pain point, but also needs to tie into the overall purpose of your ministry and what you're going to be sending emails about. This way they stick around and keep coming back. Okay. All right. So we have the form on the site. Great. There are other places that you could share that form, but we're going to talk about two methods. One, the subscribe form, right? Places to share that actual form to get people to subscribe. And then we're going to talk about just sharing the free stuff that you're going to create and offer from your blog. And then on that page, there's a subscribe form. Okay. So there's kind of two ways to go about this. All right. So number one, subscribe form, the actual, hey, join our email list and get whatever. In my case, it's monthly topical reading plans plus Bible study lessons. I mean, there's like a whole list of stuff they're going to get by joining my list, right? And there's a great mock-up and so forth. So you have a form that's embedded on your site. You'll want to create another form. Now, depending on which email service you use, there's ConvertKit, MailerLite, Flowdesk. I'm sure there's some other ones. You have segmenting and tags and different things. The idea is don't use the same actual form, the code for that form that you put on your blog. Don't use that in these other places. And here's why, because you want to be able to see how many subscribers you're actually getting from these other places. If you're using the same form, you only have one form showing in your dashboard, you don't know where they came from. So I've created one form for my Facebook, one form for, say TikTok or, what other places I'm doing. I have one for Gumroad. We're going to talk about that. And this way I can go into my dashboard and see exactly how many subscribers I'm getting from this particular location. And so duplicate the forms. They can be the same form, like physically looking, but just duplicate them so you have a different code and they show up in your dashboard as separate forms so you can see what's working and what's not. Okay. All right. So let's talk about social media. Social media, if you're active on it, obviously if you're not active on it, this isn't going to work. But you have Facebook groups, you have Facebook pages, you have TikTok. We'll include YouTube in the social media category. You have Instagram, and I'm sure there's some other ones. Now, Facebook, of course, you can just share the link, right? Now, I will say if you've created a form, I would actually encourage you to create a page on your website, not a post, but a page, embed that form on it, and then add some other stuff. So if they decide they don't want to subscribe, they can at least see the other things you have on your site. Instead of using the landing page that's built into ConvertKit or MailerLite or whatever. This way, when you share the link, it's a link to your site, so you're getting traffic to your site, but it also provides an opportunity to show other things that your site offers if they don't want to subscribe. I think I have another video that explains how to do this. If I do, I'll link that below. So you share this link. Now on Facebook, say you have a Facebook page for your blog, you can put in the top right corner, there's usually a button, and you can edit that button to say shop or learn more or, newsletter, whatever, depending on how you have your page set up. And so you can put the link to that landing page right there, right? So they can click on that. And again, you don't want just a form to sign up because they'll be like, ugh. And this is why having a page that has a little more detail can say, hey, join our email list and get all these things every month. And here's some other stuff we have to offer. It's a little more inviting than just a form that pops up in their face. Okay. So put that as your button for your Facebook page. In the same manner on YouTube right? You can put that in your YouTube channel description. There's places to put like newsletter sign up, things like that. I think YouTube has a button. For Instagram and TikTok, you have a link in bio. So create a link in bio page and put your newsletter, as a button and link it to that page. Again, different tracking codes for each one. So you know who's coming from which platform. And this is important. You may not care, but it is important for you to see, like, if you're doing a lot of work in trying to promote your freebie, say in Facebook, and you're getting no signups, but you see that, say, Instagram, you're getting a lot, then maybe put more effort into Instagram because you see it's working there. So knowing where they come from is actually really, really important. So Facebook, if you have a Facebook group, you can pin, like create a post that says, hey, welcome to the group. I actually have this in my group for my blogging. For my blogging tips email, there's a pinned post at the very top in the featured section. And it's like, hey, for anyone new. And it has links to a bunch of stuff, like to my courses, to my free trainings, my YouTube channel. And it's just pinned to the top of the feed. I actually get quite a few signups. Every new member, there's an opportunity that they'll also sign up for my email list. So don't not put it in these places, especially if you're active and you have engaged audience in these spaces. So Facebook pages and groups, YouTube, we're talking about the channel profiles, and then of course your TikToks and your Instagram link in bio. Now, beyond that, so remember, we're talking about two things, the actual form or the page with the form on it. Think of all the kinds of free things that you have available on your site. I create and give away so many free things, free character studies, free chapter studies, free SOAP study worksheets, things like that. You could create a small graphic to simply share on these platforms, especially Facebook, because you can share links on Facebook and then put the link to the freebie itself, which should be housed on a page on your site. And this is driving more traffic to your website. But instead of just promoting your blog posts, which aren't really going to convert very well, people love free printables. And so by promoting your free printables on Facebook, on your page or within your group, if what you're offering matches what the group is for, then they get over to your website, which, oh, by the way, has your general, your form that is on your website anyway. So using social media is a great way to get traffic to your site. And the people who come to your site from there will hopefully also subscribe. So there's two lines of thought, the direct sharing of the, hey, sign up and get this, but also the sharing of content that more entices them into wanting more of what you have. I get so many subscribers from my social media platforms because I'm sharing all the free printables that I have. And I kind of have them on repeat. I use Post Planner. And so every month they just get shared again once a month. So social media, right? Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. The next one is going to be Pinterest. Now, Pinterest is my number one driver of traffic right now, but I get a lot of subscribers from Pinterest as well. So remember that landing page that we talked about that you create on your site. Don't use the ones built into the email service. Create, put the form embed in there and then, some other stuff. A welcome to my site. Here's what we have to offer. Your start here page, even if you have a start here page. And make Pinterest pins that lead to that. Hey, free Bible study lessons. That's what mine says because that's what I'm offering. People love free stuff. Put some of the mock-ups of your printables on the pin. And this way they get to your site. So yay, you got traffic, but then also they'll see what your freebie offers, your lead magnet. Again, mine is they just get a lot of free stuff every month. And then they'll hopefully subscribe. And so you get kind of two in one, you get traffic and subscribers through this. But then also all of your freebies, again, house the freebies in places like Gumroad. We'll talk about Gumroad in a minute. Give it to them without having to subscribe. You're going to have a really great lead magnet, yes. And the whole thing is that, get this, if you subscribe. But beyond that, I encourage you to offer more free stuff with no strings attached. The more great stuff you give for free that are valuable resources, the more they will build, kind of loyalty with you, the more they're going to believe that you're not just trying to get from them. And the more willing they'll be to subscribe because they already know you're giving great stuff. This has worked for me for years. The majority of what I offer is absolutely free. They don't have to subscribe. And it's not chintzy stuff either. I don't mean create, the good stuff and only my subscribers get that. No, create good stuff and offer it out there because the more of very valuable things that you offer, the more willing they'll be to actually subscribe. If you create something and the only way they can get it is to subscribe, you'll have a lesser conversion by doing that. So give away the goods. Now, you can reserve some stuff just for subscribers. That's okay. But all of my printables, all of my chapter studies, all of that is freely available. They do not have to subscribe to get it, but there's extra bonuses they get by subscribing. They get coupons for discounts for the paid options. They get, actually, sometimes I send my email list a free version or a free paid item. So it's the paid item, like the full paid item. I'll just send it to my email list to thank them for being such great subscribers, So Pinterest is a really great way to get subscribers, but also traffic and get subscribers by way of traffic. So it kind of does both. If you're not utilizing Pinterest in your strategy, especially for trying to build your email list, you are missing out on a huge opportunity. Okay. And so the next one is I'm going to talk about is Gumroad. And I have a whole series of videos about Gumroad, but the idea is put all of your freebies on Gumroad and on the page where once they check out, this is the page that pops up for them to click and download whatever it is you're giving them. So this is the download page, right? This is the product description page where you upload the pictures. And then this is the page once they've checked out. And this page is whether it's a free product or if it's a paid product. This page is the same. And so they click this, they download the file, but I have this, want more free stuff, join our email list and get every week. And then I created a form tagged for Gumroad. So I know everyone who signs up via this form came from a Gumroad product. And they click this, the form pops up, they fill it out. So you can put this on all of your freebies that are being delivered via Gumroad. And I can tell you that it works because I get a lot of subscribers from Gumroad. So this is something most people don't do. They only upload their paid products to Gumroad, but Gumroad lets you list your freebies, which is why I love it. And it's a really great way to get more subscribers. By the way, you can also put this little blurb in your Etsy, like at the bottom of the product. You just can't put a link. So you would have to put the full URL of the form. Probably won't convert as well. But here it actually, you can create a button or a hyperlink, either one. And so this is just a really great way to think outside the box of ways to reach people. Now, all of my products, the content of the download they get actually goes back to the website, and that's where they get the study or whatever. So I'm using it both to build subscribers as well as traffic. I have a whole other video all about that. But anyway, so don't discount your digital products as ways to actually build your subscribers. Even if you don't share the product itself on the blog, I mean, you are because these are freebies, but even if you didn't, no one's coming to your blog yet. But these, you can create Pinterest pins that lead directly to the URL on Gumroad. So the Gumroad freebie URL, create pins that lead directly to them. So now you're promoting more of your digital products on Pinterest. But then on the download page, again, you have the opportunity to subscribe. So lots of really great ways to use Gumroad for multiple things. But for this video, it's all about getting those subscribers. Okay, so now I kind of want to talk about what we don't want to do because I see people doing all kinds of strategies to try to build their email list. So I'm going to talk about just a few things and give you my opinion on them. I mean, again, this is just my opinion, but things I've seen and learned through the years of people doing these. So now you can offer like a challenge, join our challenge, sign up for our email list. The challenge should probably be really, really good. But again, whatever the challenge is, should be directly related to what your weekly emails are about, right? Because otherwise they'll be like, oh, this challenge is really great, but your emails, I don't really care, right? They need to be tied. They need to offer value. So challenges are okay. You just got to be kind of careful with them. The one thing that I do see people do is the link swap, or the freebie swap, I should say, where um, I will share your lead magnet with my email subscribers in hopes that they will also join your email list. I personally don't like this strategy. Not to say it's a bad one, but just some things for you to ponder about it. Number one, if you're going to do this, you need to do it with someone who has the exact same target audience, because otherwise the freebie might be really great, but you know, again, those emails that come out every week, they're not going to be interested in them. So it's great to have an email list of 5,000 people, but if they're not opening your emails, what's the point? Okay. And so I'm a Bible study for new believers blogger. I would not do this with, say, a Christian mom blogger, because our audience is, she is specifically trying to help Christian moms. I'm specifically trying to help new believers. My emails every week are going to be vastly different from hers. So it wouldn't really be a long-term win, right? A lot of people might sign up, but then as soon as they get that first email from you, they're going to unsubscribe or just not open your email. So beyond that, I personally, and again, this is just my personal opinion, not saying it's wrong to do it, it's just me personally. I am very strict with myself about what I send my subscribers. And if the subject line or anything in the email indicates, hey, here's some free stuff, then if when they go to access it, they then have to subscribe to somebody else's email in order to get it, it's technically not free. Free is not always a monetary transaction. Free is no strings attached. Okay. And so if I'm saying, hey, here's some really great free stuff, but oh, by the way, you got to join her email list, it's really not free. And I've had that done to me, and I just don't like it because I don't know what kind of emails that other person sends. And then now they're getting all these emails. And so I just personally don't do it. What I might do though is if they want to give me whatever their freebie is, and again, have like a thing at the bottom that says, hey, if you want some more free stuff, consider joining my email list, where they have the option to join the email list of the other blogger, but it's not a requirement to get the thing. And again, this is just me and how I treat my list, but these are just some things for you to think about. And so I personally just don't do the freebie swaps because I've seen just the after effect of them, and they're just not always that great. But I want my subscribers to know that anything I send to them with the word free is absolutely free, no strings attached. The only thing they have to do is click and they get it. Now, my freebies are delivered via Gumroad. They are totally free. There's an option if they want to give me a donation, but there's no requirement. If it says free, it's free with no other action needed. And so that's just a policy that I've set for my ministry. So some other things, just collaborations with other bloggers, that kind of goes, with the freebie swaps, but also maybe doing, YouTube lives together, Facebook lives together, where you cross promote each other's things. Just be careful in how you do them and the opportunity versus a requirement, because again, in the long run is what I'm talking about. The long run of the relationship you have with that new subscriber is what's important. And, again, having a solid plan for what you're sending out every month. Do not start your email list if you don't have that plan. But these are just some ways that I've been, Google decimated my traffic. At one time, I was getting about 160,000 visitors every single month. I was getting signups from my blog left and right because, 160,000 people were visiting it every month. I'm down to about 40,000 now. And the majority of that actually is coming from Pinterest. And so a combination of my Facebook, my YouTube channel, and things like that has helped me continue to gain new subscribers every single week. And so these strategies do work, but you also need to have a plan within those strategies as well. So it's not hard, but again, you need the goods. Don't start building an email list if you don't have the goods. Create the goods first. So when they come, they're like, oh, wow, she has so much great stuff, right? Don't be in such a hurry to build an email list if you don't yet really have a foundation to keep them happy at that time, if that sort of makes sense. So Anyway, I hope this all made sense. If you have any questions at all, of course, drop a comment below or hop over to my Facebook group, and I will happy to have help you figure out what would be a good kind of thing for your ministry or any other questions you may have about it. All right. All right, everyone. I will see you all in the next video. God bless and have a great week. Bye-bye.